Alright, so after another month of farming my Galactic Legend Kylo Ren, we have some updates today, and as you can see, we are done. And so it's actually been, I think, 3 months to the day I did the first upgrade on his first relic till today. And so as of, I think, Thursday or whenever the next ship event comes around, I will be able to start collecting tokens and then finally beginning to farm him, Kylo himself, which has been a long time coming. Yeah, it looks like 3 days. So I'm missing like 5 shards on the finalizer. Yeah, I'm missing 5. So once that gets here, I'll have everything I need to go into the event. I believe after that, and then, honestly, I haven't even really followed really the progression of what needs to happen once you have the characters and stuff. I know there's like several stages. You have to collect tokens. I know one is kind of a rock paper scissors thing where there's a certain pattern that I guess beats it. But I think we'll talk about that in a little bit. I think one of the things I'm looking at now is sort of like what's next. Now that I have these items ready to go, you can see check marks and everything except the finalizer. The finalizer, like I said, will be here in 3 days. So I had an opportunity to pay the shards for the finalizer, but in the scheme of things, I don't think it would have mattered. I actually ended up spending some extra crystals to finish off these characters. Honestly, it was a long farm. And I just kind of wanted to get this wrapped up and move on to the next thing. So that said, I really I can't emphasize enough. I feel for people who spend on this game, and particularly people who maybe have a harder time keeping from spending too much on the game, these types of farms. Because I think I was down to like the Han and maybe like one or two of the TIE pilots, and I was really just kind of I was tired of the farm. I was tired of the day to day of going through these characters and seeing the same things over and over and literally not spending any money or any of my credits or any of my resources on any other characters. And so toward the end, and I typically run about, I don't know, I usually keep around 200 crystals in my pocket. I'm not, again, very free to play. I kind of stay in the hundreds of both fleet and arena. But I don't generally have a lot. But by the end of this, I was down to like 200 crystals because I was just spending them on gear to finish these guys off. And so for someone who's actually shelling out money for these things and is sort of always looking to be in the meta and pushing forward, I can't imagine how hard it must be to keep from spending and to finish off these characters. And what's worse is, I started looking at the requirements for Kylo Ren on like the actual, I'm sorry, the Galactic Legend Kylo Ren, and it's crazy. Like he needs 400 of the MK7s, and I don't know what the MK9s, and then there was like stun gun, like just all the regular crap. Plus, you need to farm the tokens, and you have to wait in between to get the event. So again, that's gonna be another pull on the wallet, another pull of resources to try to get you to give up as much as you can. And so that I think was one of the more surprising things for me. I have not spent on the game. I've been in the game since release, and I think that really filters into why it's taking me 30 days to get, or I'm sorry, 3 months to get this done versus some other folks. But that's a big deal, and that's I don't want to say it's well, it's a little slimy, right? It's a little bit, and it's weird because like they've had these farms in the game for a long time. I think this farm, just by the nature of it being so many characters, I think by the end of it, you're just so sick of it, you just want it to be over and done with. So that was sort of an interesting take for me. I had not been used to spending crystals just to get rid of things. I knew I was spending crystals in an inefficient way. But it's it's a learning experience, and I think from there, next time maybe I'll do a little bit better. So I don't think I'll start just spending crystals, haphazardly in my other parts of the game. But that's where we're at. So I'm excited. We're actually going to get to go after Galactic Legend, Kylo Ren in the next week or two, and I'm excited to start seeing how this events play out. Even though I'm sure they're going to be upsetting and grindy and all the things I've heard about just through the grapevine. So, while we're here, let me just take a few minutes to say, hey, if you like Galaxy of Heroes, you like other mobile games, I've been doing lots of videos here and there. I'd love for you to take a minute, subscribe down below, hit the little bell so you get an update once a new video goes up. I'd really appreciate it. I see lots of people watching the videos. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't subscribing. That's everybody does YouTube says that, but I'd love to kind of build a little community around Galaxy of Heroes and other mobile games that people might be into, and I'd really appreciate doing that. So all that said, what's next? So what's next for me is I'm really kind of looking at probably going with the Mando characters. There's a bit of me that wants to go after Jedi Knight Luke. And I guess the characters in general aren't too bad. I've got a lot of them at G12, and I've got, these two. I have one character I'd have to farm, which isn't bad. But I just don't think I have it in me right now to do that. I'm thinking maybe after the Mando characters and with the ship's second, or with the show's second season coming, you got three characters here. I could easily see two or three more coming. The child or Baby Yoda, he's coming. Like, there's no doubt that guy's going to be in the game at some point. So these characters are going to be needed for that without a doubt. There's part of me that'd like to stay ahead of that. There is the temptation to go after Jedi Luke, as I said. Again, I think this will maybe be something after Mando, unless something else comes up that looks more enticing. As far as GL Ray, and I think this goes, I learned a lot kind of looking at the data. So let's flip over to that. So this is a spreadsheet I've shown in a couple videos. I'll put it in the description down below. But as you can see, when I started with Kylo Ren, I was at 50% completion roughly. And it's kind of a rough number. It's just based on gear level and where I was at. But from there, you can see the progression. And typically, I think it averaged out to about 4% I would complete per week. And so with somebody who's newer to the game, right? Somebody who doesn't have these characters, and what's, you know, I guess more illustrative of it is when I started, I already had a lot of these at G11, G12. I had all of them unlocked. I did have to farm up Sith Trooper and Hux. I think I had to farm, as well as special first order special tie. Gosh, what a mouthful, huh? Fost, that guy. I had to farm up that guy as well. He was from a store, so it's not as big a deal. But I really only had like two characters I had to farm here. And the rest I sort of just leveled up as I went. So I had a good head start. Like if you were a new player who's only been on the game for maybe 2, 3, 4 years, like I don't know how you get through this in any kind of reasonable amount of time. I mean, it's not going to be a reasonable amount of time. It's I've been playing 4 or 5 years, so it makes sense that it still took me 3 months to get through it. But for like a new player, 1, 2 years into the game, like there's no way they're going to have kind of like things like Captain Phasma, who are great characters. These TIE pilots. Hux and the Sith Trooper are fairly new. Palpatine maybe because of some of the events, but you know, I had a good head start, I guess is what I'm saying here. And when I started looking at, let's flip back, like looking at Rey, like I've got two characters here who I haven't even started. I still had to finish, Haldo. A lot of work here. And worse, I don't have any of the ships ready for the event, so I'd have to farm the ships for the event, which I don't even recall at this point. Um, Let's see, I would need a couple more of the ships for here. So I need either this Falcon, I'd need to finish Holdo and get her ship, or actually no, I wouldn't need her ship, but I would have to farm up basically these two ships, which aren't, those aren't trivial farms, and they would go against the character farms I'd be trying to get as well. All of that, and you still have to farm up, I mean, just absolutely abysmal characters like Rose and this fighter pilot. Like, it's just, I can't see doing GL Ray after doing GL Kylo for any kind of extended amount of time. Like it would have to be something changes in how they divvy up gear. Like G13 gets a lot easier, G12 gets a bit easier. Relic levels maybe get a bit easier. Maybe there's two places to farm. I can't see going after her without some major modifications to the game. Um, and I'll be honest, like characters like Rose, like I can't bring myself to spend the resources on it. It's just a terrible character. You can say that about some of the same ones with Kylo, but at least these hit and actually do damage within a thing. I've actually used some of these in the 3v3s lately to finish up some teams I needed to clean up. So overall, I think these characters, and that goes back to my very first video. I think these have more utility over the Rey characters, and really, I just don't want to spend 3 more months on another set of characters to get one character with like not a lot of great. I think Luke. I mean, I think he's worth it. I think Luke himself, I think, is a character I grew up with in the movies, so he's enticing to me. And I think from there, I could see myself pushing these characters forward. I think there's a lot of value in all of these characters. Well, let's not you, not you. These characters are good. As a matter of fact, I was tempted to G13 Vader during my farm for Kylo because I had the materials. I may still have those materials. No, I don't. I spent them to get him up. So, yeah. So I need some MK5s, but. I was really tempted to gather him and get him going. So all that said, how do I feel about the farm in general? Like I said, I had a big head start. I've been, kind of, I wouldn't say month one player. I had a good head start to kind of get me over some of these initial farms. It doesn't feel like it was much worse farming wise than some other characters, like when I was going for no worse than Darth Revan maybe or late Revan, maybe Padme. I mean, they're longer, so maybe it's those farms times two or three, and that kind of sucks. And like I said, it kind of pushes on you to force your way to get these characters done. I think I have been a bit disappointed in their performance in GAC and some of the other parts of the game. We've been doing the Geonosis raid lately, or not the raid, but the territory war battle, whatever it is. And like I used some of the characters in that, really disappointing. I mean, really without the GL, it's sort of annoying that like I told someone in the guild, it's like, man, it's really sad to see all those relic tiers get melted in a phase 4 of, tier 2 of a raid or a territory battle war. It just feels bad, right? Like I put this resources into this, and really, what did I get? I'm getting the character at the end of it, but it's not great. Um, that said, it's a collecting game. I did want to get one of the Galactic Legends, so I will get that at the end of it. It's the same reason I'll go after Jedi Knight Luke at some point. I'm a collector at the end of the day. I want that character. And so I guess, when it's all said and done, at some point, a year from now, it'd be fun to go back and look at this. I'll have unlocked all the characters. We've got the new Rebel characters coming in. Maybe one day we'll get, Mundi done, but I think there's going to be a big blank spot here for a long, long time. I don't reasonably see me doing that character. So that's it for today. I was talking about streaming these, but based on how the currency works for the events, I don't think I will be doing that because I think it would be broken up, and I'm not going to sit there and dump crystals into it incessantly to get through it. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably maybe record them as I go through them, or maybe I'll do a video after this once we've unlocked them, give you my thoughts on the events. I think there's a bunch of those videos. I don't know how interesting that would be, but I do kind of want to give videos like for the free-to-play player, people who don't spend money on the game, to kind of get an idea of, hey, I'm not the hardcore. I'm not going to do my 16 battles at the end of the day to try to get to number one. I'm happy being between 25 and 100 in my attacks or my arenas and my ships every day. And what does that look like for someone who's played for a long time? So that's if you're like me and you're that kind of player, that's the kind of content I think may be applicable to these videos. So anyways, I hope you guys have a good day. If you started your farm, stick with them. Don't stray. Finish up what you started. That's always the motto. You got to finish what you started. Otherwise, you're never getting anything done. Enjoy the game. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.